Alright guys, we're in game number 3 for today. It's going to be Infused taking on mTw here in this loser bracket. Of course, this is going to be the round 3. mTw taking out SGC earlier today, as we saw in Team Infused taking out Ubalist in round 2 as well. So both of these teams moving on to face each other in round 3. Once again, guys, this is just a best of 1. So even as good as these two teams are, if either one of them lose, they are completely out of this tournament. The winner of this game will go on to face the loser of We Has Asian versus Copenhagen Wolves. And of course, we are going to see a TA first ban out here from mTw, and I say of course, but that's actually not too standard, as Naga is going to be taken out here by Infuse as well. So that's a little bit more like the thing we would expect to see, especially considering Infuse is going to be dire side this game. mTw going to be Radiant. Brood banned once again by mTw. They really do not like playing against that hero. Lone Druid going to be the next one coming out here pretty darn fast. Infuse and mTw at the very least seem to have a couple of heroes down that they really don't want to play against. Lone Druid, one of the better late game carries in the game. He still has pretty decent mid game to boot. And of course, Funzy being a great carry player and well-known Lone Druid player. They just don't want to give him the opportunity to get his hands on a hero like that. And likewise, TA banned out probably just for Wagamama. And of course, TA is very strong in the mid game. Has an actually exceptionally strong laning phase with refraction and things like that. Sideblades can do harass to pretty much any hero unless you're 600 range and you position yourself very, very well, as Darkseer is going to be the last ban out here for mTw. Now Lycan, interestingly enough, still in the pool yet again. And now we're going to see what kind of decision Infuse wants to make, and they're going to go ahead and take it out. So now, first pick for mTw, are they going to go with the Leshrac? They're going to go with Nature's Prophet, as they are going to go ahead and pick up Furion here as their first pick. Now, two more coming out from Infuse. We'll see if we're going to see the very, very common Rubik pick that we've been seeing all day today. We're going to see Leshrac. We're going to see an Enigma. What kind of style is Infuse going to be going for here? We're going to find out here in just a couple of seconds. 20 seconds left until the bonus time actually goes away, and we're going to cut into their leftover time. Once again, guys, my name is Draskyl, bringing you all these casts for the day. I think we actually have one more match after this. I'm not actually sure. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be the loser of We Has Asian versus Copenhagen Wolves versus the winner of this game, and I think that's going to be a best of 3. Hopefully my voice will actually hold out until then. I had a little bit of time to recover during the downtime. We did have about an hour break, and we are going to see Rubik and Enigma, so 2 of the 3 heroes, of course. Second picked pretty much all day today. Enigma and Rubik being 2 of the most common that we've seen. Leshrac still wide open here for mTw if they want to go ahead and pick it up. We'll see what kind of strategy they're going to be going for, though. I mean, Lone Druid is a hero that when you ban it out, it's like, it's not really a throwaway ban per se, but it's giving away top tier heroes, and I think mTw kind of took a page from that book as well by taking out the Brood, where Brood is a strong hero, but there are ways to counter it, and a lot of them. I mean, you have Tide, you have Sand King, you have pretty much any hero with a spam AoE nuke. Even Windrunner in some cases does okay against a Brood, and Windrunner has been making it pretty far into the ban pick phase so far today, at the very least in this tournament. And by this tournament, of course, I mean WCG/SCE at Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. I'm casting all the games for you guys today. On behalf of NEODota.com, I want to welcome you guys again to this broadcast, and thank you for sticking around during the downtime, because I think we had like, what was it, 2,000 people or something like that, just kind of sitting around waiting for us to get inside this game, so they're very excited to watch some more Dota 2 action, as Leshrac is going to be picked up here by mTw. One more pick out in the first of the pick phase, and then Infuse is going to have one more before we roll over to the second bans. Leshrac, of course, picked up very, very commonly, and you know it's funny because he actually isn't first pick worthy anymore according to a lot of teams, but he's still very, very good, as mTw is going to go ahead and round out their first 3 with the Brewmaster again. So we could be potentially seeing a Cinder and Brewmaster for the second game in a row pretty much. Infuse now, see what they want to go for. I mean, it's kind of funny too, because Invoker is this tournament at least not been really seen much of any, if at all, so very interesting stuff, at least in the losers bracket, because of course we are only allowed to cast the non-made stage games. Queen of Pain, though, going to round out the first 3 for Infuse, so a little bit of creativity coming out from Infused, I think. And Queen of Pain is a great laner, can lane pretty much anywhere she wants, against anyone she wants. She can pretty much win any 1v1, even against heroes like Invoker. Even if she's mid 1v1 against that particular hero, she can still get pretty good rune control. She doesn't have to worry so much about harass or anything like that. Cold Snap is still pretty annoying, but no Invoker yet on the field for mTw anyway. So now the second band's rolling around, checking out the lineup from mTw. If Brewmaster is going to be going to a safe lane again, like we saw mTw run last time, they're still going to need a mid. Their Furion is probably going to be long laning, Leshrac would probably be relegated to support in that particular situation. And then for Infused, you have the potential mid of a Queen of Pain. Rubik probably going to be playing support, and Enigma, of course, in that jungle role. And with that being said, Infused does need one more support, so banning out the Venomancer here from mTw I think is a pretty decent call. And now we're going to see what Infused wants to do. I think banning out one more support, maybe even the Morphling at this point, because mTw did pick Morphling, a very similar lineup to this actually the last time we saw them play. I want to say, not necessarily the first 3 picks, but in terms of how many heroes they had in the last game we saw them, I think they actually have 3 out of 5 at the moment, and they still, of course, have 2 more 2 picks, so we'll see. I might be mistaken on Leshrac. I want to say that they had him, but I know for a fact they had the Brewmaster and the Nature's Prophet. It has been a long morning for me, after all. I've been up for pretty much, oh god, almost 24 hours now. So, with that being said, 2 more bans out here left for Infused, 1 more ban for mTw. Then we're going to get the second pick phase underway as Chen is going to make his exit pretty late, actually, into this ban pick phase. Now 1 more coming out from mTw, and then, of course, 1 more from Infused before we get those last heroes picked. Once again, guys, thanks for watching, of course. NEODota.com appreciates your viewership as much as I do, because you guys have been awesome and supportive throughout the entirety of these, I want to say 3rd day now of casting, so 3 days total, that you guys have been checking them out. And we've been gaining viewers throughout the entire weekend too, which is definitely great. Or, yeah, technically weekend. It is Saturday now, I can say that. So you guys have been awesome, and thanks again to you. And shout out to all the guys who stay here the entire time, and I mean it too. Like, there are some people who just never leave, and they just talk to us the whole time, and those guys are real diehard fans of Dota 2, I can tell you that much. But at the moment, 1 more ban here for mTw, and they're taking quite a bit of their time. They're going to eat into their reserve time here, about 45 seconds on the clock. They're really thinking about what they want to take away. And the one thing that they kind of have to their advantage at the moment is that while Enigma Black Hole is something that's scary to deal with, once you get a blink up on Brew, you can position yourself in a situation where it's like you'll always be able to get your ult off anyway, as they are going to get rid of the Sand King. One of the melee, very, very strong supports, Burrow Strike obviously being another stun you could partner with, Telekinesis, Malefice, and that hole, of course, coming out of Enigma. And Brewmaster, as long as he can get his ult off, he can't be hold when he's had it active, so the Earth aspect can pretty much always cancel Black Hole until Enigma gets up that BKB, which is going to be pretty annoying for him. And I think that's kind of the strength of a Brewmaster, because of the resurgence of Enigma, and I shouldn't really say resurgence, he's always been pretty commonly picked, but just because of how often the hero is picked, having a pretty much a guaranteed stop for a Black Hole is pretty darn important. CK going to be banned out dead last here by Infused, so maybe thinking that mTw is going to be running something like a 2-2-1, because that would mean that the Nature's Prophet would be top lane for sure, maybe a Leshrac CK in mid, and then a Brewmaster +1 bottom lane. But waiting on the support here probably for mTw. Might be looking at a Shadow Demon, might be looking at a Crystal Maiden. Anything to lock somebody down at this point would be a good choice. They are going to go with Enchantress, so okay, they have that double jungle potential tri-lane coming out, and of course their last pick in that game was Venomancer, but since it was banned out this game, Sashka played it last time, there's not going to be a Veno available here in this particular situation, so we'll see if they're still going to go for the aggressive try with those dual jungle strat. I mean, that was so weird to watch, I gotta say. It ended up working out. They even forced a reaction out of the other team they played against, actually, in the losers bracket, and it basically forced everyone basically to react to that line. It was a really, really cool situation for mTw, because they were able to pull ahead so much. Just waiting out for the last picks here. Morphling actually going to be picked up by Infused, so now they have their carry potential out here with their Queen of Pain. Can kind of be a semi-carry role as well, pick up physical damage items later on after she gets her core up. A lot of people like to go for a fast Aghanim Scepter. Some people opt for Lincolns, some people opt for BKBs and things like that. It's pretty much just preference how you want to play the Queen of Pain at this point, but looking at the lineup from mTw, I wouldn't say that BKB Lincolns would be too bad, honestly, because of the fact that they do have a lot of magic damage. Impetus, of course, doesn't do anything when you're BKB'd. You're not going to have Leshrac to worry about, and Storm Spirit picked up by mTw, so the second time today we're going to get the chance to see a Storm. SGC picked it earlier, played by Kranich, and now we're going to see probably a Funzy Storm Spirit, I would imagine, unless he's going to be taking up the reins in another hero and let somebody else play it. We're going to find out, though. 1 more pick out from Infused, and Storm Spirit picked up against a Morphling. That's a little bit interesting, honestly, because typically Morphling, I feel, is a bit harder of a carry. They are going to have great initiation range, though, with that Storm Spirit once he gets his ball lightning up. They're going to have Nature's Prophet too, who can teleport all over the map, side lane push and stuff like that. And his mobility is kind of where the strength of the hero lies. And the only real hard lockdown they have so far, again, is Telekinesis and that Black Hole with a Malefice from Enigma. So they don't have a whole lot of stuns just yet. They do have quite a bit of burst damage, though. So the Stormer's going to have to be pretty hesitant about how he wants to engage. If he gets himself in a bad position, one good stun, Fade Bolt, Morphling, Queen of Pain combo, I mean, he's going to drop pretty darn fast. Just waiting on the last pick out here. Minute left on the reserve time here from Infused. And as soon as the last pick comes, we are going to go ahead and get the game started for you guys. I'm really interested to see who's going to be playing that for mTw. I really think it's going to end up being Funza. He is their dedicated carry player. But Storm is kind of one of those heroes where it's not necessarily just a carry role. It's also an initiator / gank role. So I'm not sure if they have a specific scenario set up for this, and they might have somebody else playing it. But we'll see what they're going to go with. In the meantime, 30 seconds left on the clock here for Infused. Really trying to think of what they want to pick, and I feel like they do need another support or a mid, unless Queen of Pain is going to be long laning. I suppose it is possible, but I really do feel like it's going to be a secondary support picked up here. And there are heroes like Shadow Demon in the pool, and I think that might be a decent pickup here because Brewmaster Soul Catcher on him, and you get a couple of chain stuns. You can easily drop him with a Soul Catcher before he can get his ultimate off, and that's going to be a pretty big deal. They're going to be fighting again around their level 6 abilities. Brewmaster, though, the only real level 6 ability they need. Okay, so Tide. That's going to be another lockdown ability. And, I mean, Tide going to be played as a support as well. Funzy, of course, is going to be playing on Storm Spirit. Bucking Mad on that Enchantress. Kabop going to be playing on Brewmaster. Sakshka on Leshrac, and Cinderin playing on Nature's Property for mTw. We'll go over the players from Infuse as soon as I can actually see Pinoy picking up the Queen of Pain right here. That means Wagamama on Tide, Fishbone going to be playing on Enigma, Mini on Rubik. And then, of course, the last player going to be playing on that Morphling. Let me make sure I have my there we go. Overlay is off. We're just waiting for the last person to pick up their hero. Then we're going to get the game started again. This is the third game of the day. Been a long day so far of casting. Woke up pretty much yesterday at this point, so have a little bit of brain lag now and again. Hopefully you guys can forgive me for that, but we are going to be bringing the third round of the loser bracket in WCG and SEE's tournament. Too many acronyms today. I think that's really the problem. Team abbreviations, acronyms for the tournament names. Gamescom in Cologne, Germany, all that stuff. So much to remember. And Region, of course, playing on that Morphling, running at the lineup for Infuse. So, Mini playing again on Rubik. I think this is the second time today he's actually played that. Wagamama playing Tide. So this might not be a support Tide at all. This might actually be a farming Tide to a certain extent. Unless Wagamama's content to just go ahead and walk around and let Morphling take up most of the farm. Queen of Pain was already heading towards top pretty far, actually. He got quite a ways out of the base here. We're going to have a pause, though. Let's see who paused it out, and it's going to be Infused, so they have some kind of issue at the moment. We'll see if they can get everything sorted out so we can get the game underway. And I'm not sure where they're going to send Funzy in this case. I mean, they could do another weird kind of aggressive tri-lane and send their Storm Spirit up to the top lane like they did in the last game we saw them play, but I don't know if that's really going to be as effective as a Venomancer, because the Venomancer allowed them to dive with those two jungles. But I don't really think they have the same luxury. Funzy is going to be heading towards mid. Kabop is playing on Brewmaster. Hold on a second. Sakshka on Leshrac. Cinderin on Nature's Prophet. And we're going to have Bucking Mad playing on Enchantress. Everything is completely backwards right now in terms of what we're used to seeing. Kabop is almost always seen on Enchantress. So this is going to be an interesting game to watch for sure. Enchantress picking up some sentries, by the way, and smoke. The entirety of Infused walking up here to top lane. And this is not the kind of fight that I think mTw wants to take. Of course, Enchantress at level 1, not the best team fighter. You want to wait for a creep, which means 30 seconds after the 0-0 mark pops, and you can actually get a decent creep to actually start your team fight. Whereas Enigma, I mean, he's pretty weak too at level 1. He can't really convert anything. Malefice only stuns once. Level 1 does 30 damage. It's not really that effective. And Infuse is going to go ahead and just back out to their side of the map. Yeah, I'm really actually kind of shocked that Bucking Mad isn't playing on a different hero. I mean, Sakshka is going to be farming here for sure because he is always a player on their team who farms. Him and Funzy both are typically very, very highly prioritized in getting CS and stuff like that. But Kabop playing on the Brewmaster is really throwing me for a loop here. And I mean, he even bought wards. Wow, nice heads-up sentry right there from Bucking Mad. Maybe he saw somebody walk over there. Oh man, is he really going to is he going to get his sentry sentried? No, he's not. Okay. Fishbone's going to go ahead and fall back. They're going to place an observer on the high ground over here. And I am just completely lost as to what the heck is going on. So Brewmaster, Enchantress, and Leshrac tri-lane. And since Brewmaster bought wards, is this a support Brew? Like, I don't even know what to think right now. This is a little bit out of the ordinary. Kebab going to get caught up by a range creep. He is going to put that aggressive ward behind the tower. Solo Queen of Pain up here, by the way. Pinoy all by himself. That means a tri-lane bottom up against solo Nature's Prophet. Rubik going to be down here with the Morphling. Aggressive Enigma in the jungle. And Cinder's going to have to play this so passive. If he gets caught at all by anything, he's just dead. Like, there's no way he's going to be able to get out of there. Funzy going to be soloing mid against Wagamama on that Tide. And Storm, of course, has a little bit of a range advantage, but it's not much. I mean, Storm range is only 480, so that's not really too impressive. Morphling, actually, one of the shortest ranges in the game for a range hero, sitting at 350. Pings up here onto Pinoy. He's doing some creep pulling in his side of the woods, and now Kebab and Bucking Mad both heading into the opposition's jungle. So we're going to see a little bit of a loop around here from Mini, going on to Funzy in this mid lane. Rubik actually already left, leaving Cinder and solo this bottom lane against Region. We'll go ahead and pop up the CS here, so you guys can take a look at that. So 6-0 right now for Soxka. Again, he is going to be farming in this top lane. Oh man, are we going to see a huge dive here in middle lane? Mini and Waga both running away from their tier 1 tower mid as Enchantress completely cuts them off. Kebab here too. He does have rank 1 to clap. That Ursa is slightly faster than Tide. Not much though. It's going to be clap off. Wow, he actually goes in anyway. He's level 2, taking quite a bit of damage from the clap, and now here comes Enigma with a massive amount of convergence, and Bucking Mad is going to go down. Enigma gets a kill. Infused already on the board. Kebab falling back to his side of the river. Huge flank right there of conversions. Kebab going to pop up a clarity and just walk over here and spot Fishbone. He's going to go ahead and go back to his side of the river, I guess. Well, that was definitely a weird engagement. So mTw has taken their tri-lane top and taken 2 of their heroes pretty much completely all the way across the map. Kebab now running all the way back to top. So he went from top to mid to bottom. Now he's running back to top, and Hazer picked up by Mini. Leshrac going to be forced back to the tower. He's not going to get quite in range for that telekinesis, so he's going to find Kebab here in the river. Throw out a couple of auto attacks, but Kebab, of course, is going to be more than fine. Pings off in the middle lane. Funzy sitting on level 4, 11-1 CS, now the highest in the game. 10-3 for Leshrac, as there's a Wildkin picked up here by the Enchantress, going to be forcing back this Rubik and this Tide. But a pretty decent start here for Infused, getting first blood on the board quite fast, less than 2 minutes into the game. I just don't understand, like, the movement coming out from mTw right now is so strange. Their Enchantress has already made her way back to her side of the jungle, which I think is probably the right call at this point, because they know that trying to gank a Queen of Pain with the kind of tri-lane that they're running, and it was a really good call too by Infused, knowing that it was going to be an aggressive try again. I'm not sure if they saw the match earlier or what, but they anticipated it very well. Queen of Pain pretty much can't die to this kind of a gank, unless you get something like a Troll Creep or something like that to net after a blink, but very, very well done so far by Infused. Looking at the gold, of course, they are a little bit ahead, pretty much because of the first blood, and experience pretty much because of the first blood as well. Bottom lane Cinderin sitting on top of 8-1, while Morphling is 8-9, so getting a little bit ahead in the deny category. Of course, the base damage of Morphling a little bit higher. Conversion's going to be coming up in this top lane, courtesy of Fishbone. We'll see if Pinoy is going to be playing aggressive. He is level 4, so he's getting some semblance of experience, not choosing to level anything else just yet. He's the 0, 1, and 2, deciding if he wants to skill up a rank of Shadow Strike or not. Rubik and Tide dual lane still up against Funzy here in middle. Level 5 for him. It's 20-3 CS, by the way. He's doing a phenomenal job. Only 4 minutes in. Soxka going for the 1-1-2. So we got 1 rank into Edict, and he's actually going 2 into the Lightning Stun. Oh, wow. He actually tried to anticipate the blink right there, but just a little bit off. So we're going to have Kebab disconnect from the game, so apparently his Dota 2 crash or something like that. Got the immediate pause out here by Buckyman. Oh, there we go. He reconnects, so apparently his Dota didn't crash, otherwise that was the fastest reload I've ever seen in my entire life. Buckabop's going to be back into this game. Hopefully we can get things started for you guys once again. This is round 3 of the loser bracket. Best of 1 between mTw and Infused. Whoever loses this game is done in the tournament. Of course, I think by a lot of people, mTw probably favored in this matchup, but of course Infused already on the board with the kill. So not going down without a fight. Obviously a very, very good team as well. Region bottom. Still farming up against this solo Nature's Prophet. In all honesty, 12 CS at 4 minutes is actually pretty low. especially when you don't really have to worry about getting ganked or anything like that. So Regen going to be recovering as much as he can to try to get himself on the board here in terms of the CS department. Funzy's still sitting at the highest, and look at how far back they're sitting. Okay, there we go. Telekinesis and Anchor Smash going off on the Funzy, but he just hit 6. Look at that burst damage coming out with the Fade Bolt as well. They're going to go ahead and force him to ultimate to his tower. Pops the Flask as well, and bottles himself basically up to full HP and mana once again. So he's gone for the 1-2-2, so 2 into the Overload, 2 into the Vortex, 1 Remnant, 1 ult. Not opting to go for the 3 into Vortex, which pretty much guarantees that a Remnant will land. Maybe he just wants some more overload damage to make sure that he can last hit and things like that. Wagamama going for the standard Gush and Anchor Smash build. Kebab has disconnected again, so I'm not really sure what the deal is necessarily. But hopefully we can get everything sorted out for you guys. And he reconnects right away. I'm not really sure what... I don't even know what would make you do that, honestly. Almost level 5, by the way, on Leshrac. Leveling up that Lightning Storm. Going to be using that to push out the wave here, I'm sure. Fishbone and Mini. What the heck? He's like trying to give him a high five here in the jungle. Fishbone. High five on his teammate. Double jungle, go Power Rangers, or what have you. Middle lane, Wagamama going to be in some trouble here. Enchantress catches him out. Funzy comes in with the Electric Vortex. Going to see an attempt at TP in for Furion, but nope, going to go ahead and just cancel it out. Cinder knows that that Tide is dead for sure regardless. And the first kill for mTw. Now on the board, 1-1 at 5.5 minutes into this game. Pings out here. They're going to spot Kebab. Telekinesis up. Blink down from Pinoy. He's actually stuck in the trees. Telekinesis pulls him back. Anyway, though, long distance ultimate from Pinoy seals the kill. Queen of Pain manages to pick up another kill for Infused. So, 1-2 now. Kebab getting a little bit caught out there. Sashka, in the meantime, picking up a bottle of his own. It's currently in the stash. Funzy and Bucking Mad both making their way to the enemy jungle. They're going to spot out Fishbone with that Centaur. The Stomp goes off, and the Electric Vortex to boot. Remnant enough to pick up the kill. Now 2-2. Things are picking up here quite a bit in this game. A little bit slow in the first couple of minutes, but now kills going all over the place. And I mean, that's the power of a Storm, man. Your initiation range is so long. We're going to see a Telekinesis go off onto Bucking Mad. Nature's attendants are popped. There comes Queen of Pain, though, with the Scream, and Kebab disconnects just in time for us to get a nice close-up of the mid-animation auto-attack going off on a Bucking Mad here. But, of course, he should be able to get up 1 or 2 more heal takes off before the Scream happens again. This is not a good situation for Bucking Mad. Says, wait, we got to fix something. And, of course, Infused being the understanding gentleman players that they are going to let mTw figure out whatever their problem is. I'm not really sure what the heck's going on, but land events will be land events. Not sure if he has peripheral issues with his mouse or his keyboard. I don't know if his Dota's lagging out or anything like that. There's been a couple of cases of voice programs not being properly installed, things like that. People wanted TeamSpeak or Vent or whatever. So we'll see if Kebab can actually get back into the game and actually stay connected. That would be ideal. 30 CS, by the way, highest in the game. Now for Funzy, 28 for that Morphling, 25 for the Enigma, and 24 for Leshrac and Furion. Taking a look at the overall gold, still pretty much in favor of Infused, and experience as well, about 1,000 experience and less than 500 gold, probably closer to about 300. And yeah, tactical pauses for sure. I'm really sure that mTw wants to be having these chain pauses of people disconnect. This is totally intentional. They're just trying to throw Infused off their game. And by the way, Infused has an amazing teamfight team at level 6. They have Queen of Pain, they have Tide, they have the Enigma as well. So Black Hole, Ravage, Queen of Pain, AoE, plus Rubik and Morphling. So they have a lot of burst AoE. Not only that, but their late game is no slouch either. Queen of Pain can be built in a lot of different ways to carry yourself pretty well into the mid to late game. You have Morphling, who's always going to be building as a carry no matter what, because that is pretty much just his solidified role. And Rubik can steal some pretty cool stuff, namely Brewmaster Ultimate. And I'm pretty sure you can steal Ball Lightning as well, which would be fun to mess around with. Six and a half minutes into this game, we got the readies coming out. Panda finally reconnecting to the game, so we're going to have everything sorted out for you guys once again. And Enchantress should be able to drop. Yep, there we go. One more auto attack coming out from the Queen of Pain. Enough to get the kill. Sakshka going to pop that Split Earth on those conversions. Now he's going to be forced to run. Fishbone trying to get the Malphus off, but he actually gets fogged right there. Nighttime, not cooperating. 2-3. Infused still with the kill lead. Only 1 kill ahead, though. Morphling in the bottom lane, sitting on top of 1,500 gold. Funzy sitting on top of 1,000. Of course, he bought a pair of boots and a bottle. whereas the Bassi is the only thing finished on Morphling, so that's pretty much where the gold discrepancy comes from. Take a look at the gold per minute. Funzy leading by quite a bit, actually. Almost 70 gold per minute ahead of anyone else at this point. It's only 7 minutes in. At 346 GPM at that particular point in time is pretty darn impressive. Sakshka trying to farm what he can up here. He is going for the 1-1-3 Lightning Storm build, which I gotta say is pretty interesting. You don't typically see that. Maybe he's just expecting to do a lot of team fighting early on. Middle lane, oh, Wagamama getting initiated on once again by Storm and Enchantress. Is he gonna be able to get anything out before he goes down? Doesn't look like it. He was 6 experience away from being able to Ravage when Funzy and Bucky Mad decided to try to gank him right there. So now, Infused is gonna react by trying to push this top tier tower. But Sakshka again has that level 3 of Lightning Storm. Gonna be counter pushing quite well himself. Fishbone sitting here in the woods behind the tier 1 mid, trying to line up some kind of initiation. He is also very close to level 6. So Tide and Enigma both on the cusp of getting their ultimates up here. Synderen making his way here as well. Gonna see a TP in coming out from Tidehunter. Wagamama now here, throws up the gush. Here comes Queen of Pain as well. Synderen taking a lot of burst damage. Buckyman tries to pop the heal, but it's not gonna be enough. Ravage is a huge airball that hits absolutely no one. Sprout going off onto Synderen, but it's not gonna be enough as the screen goes through Fog regardless and gets a killing spree for Queen of Pain. So a 2-for-0 trade. Unfortunately, Waga with the maybe unnecessary ultimate anyway didn't actually end up hitting anyone. Now Funzy going to be forced to ball lightning back towards his tower. They're not going to choose to pursue. Pino actually blinking in very aggressively right there. No Shadow Strike, by the way. He went for 4 into Scream, 1 to blink, 1 into Scream, or 1 into ult rather. And does he really have 1 into stats right now? Or is he just saving a point? He has 6 points spent. Yeah, 4 plus 2 is 6. Did he accidentally put a point in stats instead of Shadow Strike or blink? That would be unfortunate. Well then. A lot of interesting things going on this game. Wagamama sitting on top of 40 CS. He's doing pretty well. Actually, second highest farmer in the game now. Right behind that Morphling on his team, of course. Pino has made his way bottom, sitting at 3, 0, and 1 in terms of kill, death, and assists. Region sitting at 48 CS. 17 denies. Sakshka sitting at 33 CS and 4 denies. And then behind that, we're going to have Funzy sitting at 38 and 3, and Tide sitting at 40 and 1, of course. Oh man, Fishbone going to be in some trouble here. Level 7, can he hit the black hole off before he dies? And we're going to see another Malphite stun, but nope, not even close. As Funzy going to get that killing spree. No Ravage on Wagamama just yet. We're going to see a telekinesis up onto Funzy right here, and Mini does steal the Remnant, but Storm is going to drop anyway with Leshrac. So 2 down, trading just the Enigma, but the Enigma bought back. So Enigma may be looking to push this top tier 1 tower. I have no idea why that he would buy back this early in the game. I mean, they probably would have got the tower anyway, but conversions are going to help push it, that's for sure. 4 to 7, Infused. Now, in the lead pretty significantly in terms of kills. Take a peek at the gold graph. It's about 1,000 right now in favor of Infused, and 2,000, getting closer to 3,000 experience ahead. A lot of damage being done to this tower. See these stumpy treants right there by Synderen trying to block out. Synderen's actually getting a telekinesis into the tree. Gets, oh man, Malphite as well. Wait for him, and that's going to be a dead Furion for sure. Wagamama taking quite a bit of damage. Funzy's actually going to go all the way in. Single black hole right here onto Sakshka. Region throwing out some auto attacks. Can actually kill the Shrek in time, and that's going to be a big clap. And Lightning Storm coming out from Sakshka. He's still alive, and the pole going up from the high ground onto Queen of Pain before she can drop anyone else. Funzy now going in for many. Can he actually get the kill? A huge turnaround right there. They managed to defend the tower and kill 4 members of Infused, tying up the game. Tide now even kills 8 to 8. 11 minutes in, going to be pushing this tier 1 top. That was a very, very good initiation coming out of mTw. Now Brewmaster sitting on level 6. By the way, support Brewmaster. He's owning it up, doing what he can. 3 points into the clap, 1 point into the ult, nothing else, everything else into stats. Got his wand and his wards picked up. Sakshka throwing out some Lightning Storm spam. Funzy sitting on top of level 9. And he picked up a Robe of the Magi, so he's probably going for that fast Orchid on top of the treads. Tier 2 top going to be under a lot of pressure now. mTw looking to push this down pretty fast. Funzy making sure that no one's going to be coming in for a deny or anything like that. Ravage is finally off cooldown, so if Infuse wants to fight, they definitely can, but there are just so many trees right here. What can you really do? Synderen going to go ahead and teleport down to bottom lane, choosing to go for a Midas, by the way. He's going to be making a mech shortly thereafter. Sakshka sitting on top of his arcane boots, has 1,500 gold picked up. Kebab finishing his own arcane boots, and now he has a pretty reasonable mana pool. Instead of walking around with basically nothing, I mean, he claps and ults, and then once he gets out of the ult, he's like, well, I can't do anything. But now that he has the arcane boots, he can at least clap 1 or 2 more times. Oh man, ball lightning coming in from Mini, and now we're going to see ball lightning out from Funzy. Can he actually get away in time? Wagmama not throwing out the ultimate this time. They probably could have got the kill. Now we're going to see Edict come in. Sashka misses a stun. There's a nice triple ravage. Anchor Smash hitting pretty much everyone. Impetus from the low ground. Not quite enough to kill Wagmama. Kebab trying to get the split off. He is going to finally do so. Let's see if they can engage into this. Queen of Pain going to get stunned out by the rock from the earth aspect, and the lightning storm going to be enough to get the kill from Leshrac. Now we're going to see the Storm Spirit throwing up the Rubik, and I guess it's a little bit confusing. There are actually 2 Storm Spirits in the same team in this game, but or I should say Storm Aspect. Kebab actually going to drop, though, after the ultimate wears off. Waveform coming through as Region picks up the kill right there on Kebab. 9-9. Once again, going a 1-for-1 trade, and these are some of the weirdest engagements I think I've ever seen, especially throughout the entire day. I mean, I don't know what the heck is going on, but people are just kind of having the weirdest fights. I don't know if it's just me or if you guys agree or what, but some interesting teamfight coordination going on today in this tournament. Fishbone has his Soul Ring finish. He's sitting on top of level 8. Meanwhile, top Region pushing this tier 1 in the top lane. Sasha going to go ahead and pop his Edict now, which is level 4. He picked up a Bracer and Point Booster in the meantime. So he is going to be going for probably a Bloodstone, maybe even a Drum before that, depending on what he wants to do. Nature's Prophet down here with still his Midas. What is he sending to himself right now? Okay, so it's his full mech. So he's going to have his mech finished after that. Queen of Pain picking up a Staff of Wizardry and a Null Talisman, so maybe going for a very, very fast Dagon. That's actually kind of a preference build, some people on Queen of Pain, or even Puck in some cases. We saw it today earlier. Having the burst damage is very, very important when you want to get heroes like Storm out of a fight very fast, or Enchantress, or Leshrac even in some cases. Leshrac, though, having a pretty good amount of HP now, with the Bracer, of course, and that Point Booster. Fishbone, not really sure what he's going to be going for. Not sure if he's going to opt for the BKB. I think it would probably be a decent call in this game, just so we can actually get his ultimate off. In the meantime, tier 1 bottom being pressured here by mTw. No reaction yet coming out of Infused. Oh man, Queen of Pain going to get caught out by the pole right there. And is he really getting the ultimate off before he... Yep, he does get the ultimate off before he dies, but he is going to go down. Telekinesis stun right there onto a stumpy little tree, and stuns quite a few members of mTw, but that's going to be a very dead Queen of Pain. Now tier 2 going to be in some trouble as well. We're actually going to see a TP going middle lane from Region, so it looks like they don't even want to try to defend this. Infuse not putting up any fight just yet. TP coming in here from Enigma, who does have his black hole up. Ravage is up in 5 seconds. Funzy finishing one of his Oblivion staffs, getting closer and closer to that Orchid Malevolence. We'll see if he can finish it before the next team fight, and that's going to be huge, man. If he can get that off on heroes like Enigma or the Tide, it's going to help a lot. Mini has Electric Vortex now. Doesn't have the Ball Lightning anymore, which I think he was having some fun with in the last team fight for sure. Infuse, though, chasing out mTw. Going to force them off that tier 2 tower, and they're going to be okay for the moment. Oh man, quintuple smoke up here. See if mTw can actually pick anybody off. There is a sentry placed, though, right here by Infuse, so if they walk up too far, they're going to get spotted out. Yeah, they're going to get spotted out. Oh man, Funzy going in. He's going to throw out an Overload auto attack, but not actually going to go that deep. The rest of Infuse, though, coming in from the side. We'll see if they want to try to engage into this. They do have Ravage and Black Hole. This is a fight I think they want to take. They're going to see Telekinesis off onto Sakshka. Wagamama comes in, throws it. The Ravage hits 3. Funzy actually dodges it with his ultimate. Now he's going to go right into Fishbone, who does get the Black Hole off, but an immediate cancel there from Kebab with the Earth aspect. And he's going to go and pick up the kill on that Enigma. Now Wagamama trying to run away, and it looks like he will be able to get away for the moment. Now Funzy coming in with that Ball Lightning, taking a huge screen from Queen of Pain. Fear Ultimate goes off as well. Now Mini on the backside, dropping quite low himself, but wow. Morphling actually dies through the entirety of that team fight. 2 heroes down in general for Infuse. The Morphling and the Enigma drop. Wagamama managed to live along with Rubik with basically no HP. 12-9 at 16 minutes in this game. Hastrun going to be picked up bottom lane by Funzy. Very nicely done there by Kebab. Canceled the Black Hole on Funzy pretty much straight away. Allowed him to continue on into that team fight. And I was watching the rest of the team. I'm not really sure what happened to the Morphling, but I'm sure it had something to do with the entirety of mTw, because Funzy was kind of leading the charge there for a while. He was all by himself. Storm Spirit with that Haster and making his way into the jungle here. He should be able to find Wagamama, and he's going to go ahead and try to steal it with the Anchor Smash. Ooh, did he actually get that? I think he did. I think he did steal it with the remnant right there. Cinderin Mech completely finished, sitting on top of level 11, has level 2 ultimate, of course, because of that. 78 CS, the highest in the game now on that Morphling, still from Infused. Cinder in second highest at 76, and then Sakshka for mTw sitting at 69. Funzy actually kind of falling behind a little bit in terms of his CS, but he is 5-1-7, so his kill and assist gold is more than made up for the fact that he might not have the best CS score. He's getting very close to his Orchid. He's only about 375 away at this point. Funzy going to catch Fishbone, though, on the high ground as he walks up the hill. He's going to do the pull pretty much straight away, and then he's going to go ahead and dodge the Malefice stun and just go ahead and ball lightning back to the low ground. So he's not going to choose to go all in aggression just yet. If he had his Orchid right there, it would have pretty much been a for sure kill, but unfortunately, not going to be the case. Wow, Soul Booster actually already finished here on the track, by the way. He's getting very close to his Bloodstone. 1,300 health at just 17 minutes into the game. That's pretty ridiculous. His farm is doing quite well. He is leveling up the Pulse Nova, by the way. 1 rank into that Split Earth. And of course, Max Edict and Max Lightning Storm. The entirety of mTw is pretty much sitting mid right now. Looks like they want to try to push something. Tide Ravage is up in about 5 seconds, though. Fishbone's ultimate's about a minute still on cooldown. Edict going to be popped here on this middle tower, and yep, Infused is going to go ahead and just give it up. Attempted stun coming out from Sakshka, but he's going to go ahead and cancel cast that. Lightning Storm going off on these creeps, going to continue to push. We'll see if mTw can actually manage to take Roshan in this situation. I mean, they could try for it, but it's a little bit risky. Wagamama almost has enough money for his Blink if that's what he's going to be going for. I feel like they need some kind of initiation. The Tide ults have to be pretty much gigantic for them to win a team fight at this point. They really have to rely on counter initiation or just catching somebody completely off. Brewmaster, by the way, sitting at level 9, 2,200 gold picked up on him, so he has enough for his own Blink. He's also going to have level 2 ult in the next 2 levels, which is going to help tremendously for mTw. There we go, Orchid finished. On Storm Spirit, sitting at level 12, has the regen room bottled, going to continue to farm up in his side of the jungle as Infuse walks into their side of the map as well. Although Kebab is going to be leaving here. And Sakshka is probably going to be following suit here in just a second as well. Yep, there we go. TPing out of trouble, not going to get caught out by anyone from Infused. mTw, they're looking still pretty darn strong. 7,500 gold lead, wow, at 19 minutes. I did not realize it was already that out of control. Almost 10,000 gold lead at 19 minutes. Over 5,000 experience, and of course, mTw has killed pretty much all the outer tier towers. Smoke up here, by the way, on 3 members of Infused, Mini, Waga, and Fishbone, all here. Looking like they want to go for Funzy. Can they actually kill him before he ball lightnings out? That's really the important part. No blinks on any of these heroes. And Funzy going to be able to just escape by the skin of his teeth. Of course, he's not any the wiser in this situation, but he just barely escaped death right there. Blink Dagger now purchased by Tide, so that's the kind of initiation I know that they think they desperately needed here. They do have the Queen of Pain to follow it up, and they have Rubik, of course, and Enigma. So if they can get into position after the Tidehunter Ravage to get a decent black hole, I think the teamfights could still kind of swing in their favor. Gonna see a smoke up here by mTw, though. Let's see what kind of engagement we're going to have. Wagamama running up to the high ground. Oh, man. Mini going to get spotted out. There's the Impetus. Here comes Funzy. The Ravage goes off before the pull, though, and wow, Rubik just dies instantaneously, and Wagamama is going to follow suit. The mech is popped after the Ravage goes off. Completely negates all the damage. Looks like Enchantress actually popped her Nature's Attendance as well. Level 2 Impetus, by the way, on this Enchantress. Bucking mad. Level 11 already at 20 minutes into the game. Almost a Scepter finish, and now mTw going up to push the tier 3 middle lane, and I don't know if Infused can do anything about this. I mean, they do have Rubik in about 3 seconds, but we saw how fast he dropped right there. I mean, I don't know if that Ravage was really worth it. I mean, they did hit a few heroes with it, but there wasn't any follow-up whatsoever. Here comes Kebab, though. You're going to see the Orchid used in the meantime. Kebab going to go ahead and pop the split. Fishbone in a lot of trouble. One Impetus auto attack going off, and Fishbone is probably going to go drop here in just a second as a big burst goes off onto Funzy, and the Dagon doing quite a bit of damage as well. Now picked up here, Bucky Mad trying to run out of the base with those Nature's Attendants on. Nice triple Sprout actually stunned. Going to break him free. Now Sakshka in some trouble. Here comes Funzy back in from the low ground region. Trying to retreat, converting the stats, but it's not going to be enough. Nature's Prophet gets the kill, and buybacks all over the place. Looks like Queen of Pain. The second buyback coming out from Infuse as Funzy is going to be forced to retreat once again. Rack still taking some damage, and Morphling buys back now too. I think that's the third buyback from Infuse. And now mTw going to be forced out of the base after making Infuse spend so much money on just defending their base. Wagamama going to go ahead and blink back up as Nature's Prophet in the meantime picks up a Necronomicon level 1, almost actually level 2. I don't have... I mean, that when you have to buy it back with that many people, actually up here, Bucking Mad going to get caught out by Queen of Pain. But when you have to have 3 people buy back just to defend your base, I mean, that's not a good situation to be in. At the moment, 17-10 at just 22 minutes into this game. mTw, though, again, looking so strong. Just look at the gold. 12,000 in favor of mTw at the moment. 7,500 experience, actually probably closer to 10,000 as well. So 5 digits in both categories at just 22 minutes in, and that's something, man. That is a pretty darn big lead, especially considering, I mean, Infused is not a bad team at all. They're actually quite good. To have this kind of a lead this early on against them is pretty impressive, I gotta say. mTw have been delivering on all fronts pretty much throughout the entirety of this tournament. And oddly enough, they're actually in the loser bracket, so that kind of just goes to show you the caliber of teams that are actually in this tournament, because they got knocked down here by somebody else. So, Funzy walking up here towards the middle lane. Of course, Shrek going to be the one who takes that Invis rune in the bottle. Actually, he's heading towards bottom. Has a ultimate orb picked up too, so probably going for a Hex, I would imagine. I don't think he's going to be going for Lincolns or anything like that. Oh man, Sakshka actually going to catch out Fishbone. Wow, 42 HP. Sakshka going to live himself. Has a ton of regen from that bottle. Bloodstone, and now with the drum finished as well. And Arcane Boots, he has a ton of mana regen, ton of health regen. Just overall extremely tanky. Ravage is off cooldown. We'll see if we can get a big Blink Ravage coming out from this Tide. He's going to need one too. It looks like he wants to try to blink in. He's going to go ahead and throw out the Anchor Smash first. Choosing not to go in. This Rax is still taking damage, so they got to try to engage at some point. There's a Ravage. Only manages to hit 2, though, but we're going to see Leshrac die pretty much instantaneously. Oh, man. Funzy goes right into the black hole. It's a 3-man black hole. Kabop doesn't have his ult up for another 20 seconds, but Funzy basically took no damage from that. The follow-up just isn't there from Infused, and it looks like they're actually going to be losing this team fight after all, even with a semi-decent black hole right there. Imagine to catch 3 now. Funzy going to take a waveform to the face from Region, who's converting stats up into the high ground. The trees are still attacking the melee racks inside the base, and I just don't think that Infused has the gas to defend against this push. Oh man, blinks in, but immediately gets Orchided. Unbelievable timing right there. As the Brewmaster blinks in, Orchid right on top of that with the clap coming out. Now Wagamama in some trouble as well as he drops 3 down, 20-11. Region forced a waveform back towards his throne. Oh man, this game has completely gone out of control in favor of mTw at this point. Infused having such a hard time defending, even with a 3-man black hole. The Ravage probably could have been a bit better, but I mean, Black Hole pretty much hit all the important heroes. They just did not have the damage to follow it up. Now Roshan going to be the target here from mTw. Double damage here popped on the Shrek. Vlad's almost finished here on a Brewmaster. Does have level 2 ultimate. Popped it in the last team fight. Replica going to be scouting out the pit here. But I don't think... Oh, are they going to go for a steal? They actually just scouted it out right there with a Crow. Are they going to get it with a Crow? Nope, they're not. Looks like Funzy's going to be able to pick it up anyway. Orchid goes off onto the Replicate, and they're going to go ahead and just auto-attack it down. Hex actually almost finished here on Funzy at just 25 minutes. So Orchid and a Hex this fast. I don't really think anyone's going to be able to get away from that gank. And that's the point in the game where the Storm becomes... He can solo anyone, basically, on Infused from 100% to 0. Maybe minus the Morphling. That's the only hero who might be able to live through his damage long enough to get the rest of his team there. But heroes like the Enigma, the Queen of Pain, even Rubik and Tide, they're not going to be able to live through that. Tide doesn't even have that much health. He only has 1,200 at this point. Going to see a smoke up there by Infused. Looks like they're trying to bait out this Queen of Pain. But I don't really think that's going to be successful, as the rest of mTw is actually on their side of the map, or mid, if you're Sakshka. Just doing a little bit of farming. 113 CS here for the Storm Spirit. 145 actually for Region on that Morphling. He's still the highest in the game. He almost has his Lincolns finished, but it's a pretty late one, honestly. 25 minutes in. Typically, if you get a couple of tower kills early and you have free farm, you can get your Lincolns roughly at about 20 minutes. So it's a little bit behind, but they have been kind of struggling this game in terms of being behind in gold and whatnot. So we'll take a quick look. Yeah, it's still climbing in favor of mTw, and it's looking pretty ugly at the moment for Infused. 12,000 experience, 15,000 gold. They actually have more gold advantage than they do experience, which is a little bit funny. Wagamama's still farming away mid. Does have level 2 Ravage. So, of course, that means more range, more damage. Gonna help you out. Cinderin, level 3 Necronomicon picked up on him. 1,600 gold to boot. So he is doing quite well for himself. Kabop sitting on top of his Vlad's now finishing it after that Blink Dagger, and Arcane Boots. Bucking Mad has his Scepter finished. Almost level 13. Funzy now finishing up his Hex at the side shop right here. And Kabop feels like he's going to cancel his animation and stuff like that. Oh, Funzy going in right here. Who is he going for? Oh, he goes for the Courier. Picks off the Courier right there. Funzy with the map awareness. He uses the ball lightning to get a little bit of extra gold for his team. Very nicely done right there. And as you see Cinderin TPing in towards this bottom lane, everybody from mTw is here. We could potentially see another Rax attempt here from mTw. Ward up on the high ground to scout out that Tide is not real. Are they going to actually go on that? That would be really unfortunate if they get baited out by that replicative Tide. Funzy going to get telekinesis into the base right here. Blanket from Gabot managed to hit 3. The Hex goes off on a mini as well. There's the Ravage. Funzy going to be in a little bit of trouble. He does have that Aegis though, dies right away. But now Fishbone going to be the target next, and he's going to drop pretty much instantaneously. Now we're going to see Region flying up in the air from that Storm aspect, throwing him with the Tornado, and Funzy pretty much disintegrates the rest of Infused. We're going to see another buyback from Wagamon. He doesn't have Ravage just yet. He comes in with the Anchor Smash, seeing a huge dive out of the tier 4 towers, and Funzy taking so much damage from the base towers. Can he get him in time? He can. Wagamon does drop. Region trying to convert stats. He waveforms back to the base, and the GGs come out from Infused as they're getting based over right there. Too many buybacks, so much money spent just to try to defend your base, and mTw takes the game. They're going to be heading to the loser bracket finals. Very well played by mTw again. Only a 27-minute game, but 25-11. Looking at it again, I mean, yeah, the lead was pretty much insurmountable. There wasn't really anything Infused could have done after the last, I want to say, from about the 15-minute point on. It was pretty even, or before the 15-minute point. Then after that point, it just became a little bit too much, and mTw just got completely out of control. So once again, well played by mTw. Once again, guys, this is WCG/SEE. And for Gamescom in Cologne, Germany, my name is Draskyl. This is a NEODota.com presentation. Of course, on our behalf, we'd like to thank you for watching. If you guys want to check out any of our other casts, you can follow us here. We'll be casting a lot more stuff in the future, myself, and probably other casts as well as we pick them up. But that's going to be it for a while, so we'll get back to you guys as soon as we know what's going on in terms of the last games of the day, if my voice actually can make it through an entire best of 3. I'm not sure if it can just yet, but you guys have been awesome throughout the entire tournament so far, so thank you guys once again, and we'll be back in a bit with some more Dota 2.